Hello out there world, it's your boy Tommy on the spot, trying something a little differently today. Gonna be going live on YouTube Live on the mobile chat, and the reason for doing that and going live via mobile is I've heard some, kind of seen some feedback recently. I've been having some issue with my webcam, but I am here via this mobile device. It seems like I'm actually a little clearer than I usually am, so maybe we'll continue to roll with this and see what we could do. This Sunday, WWE Fastlane 2019, the final pay-per-view on the road to WrestleMania. If you guys are joining me over in the live chat, feel free to chime in with your thoughts on what you're looking forward to on the live chat there. I see Dylan Ketchum from Twitter. What's going on out there, Dylan? I know you're going to a big WWE live show this week in Detroit, so what is up? Thanks for joining us here, and be sure to leave your thoughts on Fastlane, what you're looking forward to, who you think's going to win, who you think's going to lose, and where we're set for coming out, getting ready for WrestleMania 35, live from New York City. If you guys like what you see, make sure you leave a big thumbs up and subscribe to Watchalong Wrestling. We'll have plenty of great content throughout the week. I am finishing up this kind of vacation/staycation throughout this weekend here, so I've been a little unplugged, but great to see you guys here, and thanks for joining us. So, all right, this week it is Fastlane 2019. It's a pay-per-view, I'll be perfectly honest with you guys, that I do not think is necessary. I'm kind of the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think WWE has had kind of a long-standing deal of having the Rumble and then having the Elimination Chamber to determine your WrestleMania main events, and I feel like they could kind of stop with those two events. I think that it's great to end with the Elimination Chamber. This Fastlane event feels like it's something that's a little unnecessary, if I'm being completely honest. That being said, though, as we go through this card, I think what you guys will realize is if you've been sleeping on this card, the card's got a chance to really kick some ass here and to be really good in-ring action, if nothing else. So let's start with the kickoff show. For those of you who do not know, maybe this is a little breaking news for you if you're just getting out of work, they did add a match to the kickoff show. It will be the New Day taking on the team of Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. This is something that actually was news to Xavier Woods, who went on to Twitter and said that he also was surprised to see that he was in a match on Sunday. So I guess he found out through Twitter, and it was pretty funny on kind of a funny tidbit there. So this match here, it's kind of sad in a way. It's sad that when you look back to last year, it was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev on the Fastlane event. And actually, WWE just put up on their YouTube a little kind of a watch-along type deal where those two guys went back and watched some of their match and gave their thoughts on last year's match between the two. And it ended up, it's kind of sad because last year, Rusev was probably one of the most he was one of the most over acts in the entire company, heading into WrestleMania that year, following the Rumble, where, the Rusev Day thing was super over. They were selling Rusev Day calendars, and everyone was into it. Then you got Shinsuke Nakamura, who this time last year was preparing for a world title match at WrestleMania and had all the glitz and glamour and the big entrance and everything. And fast forward, 1 year, and now these guys are in the pre-show match. Kind of where it is, just kind of a sign of the times, I guess. A variety of factors that factor into that, but it is a little disappointing to say the least. I think the New Day is winning this match. Dylan in the live chat also thinks that the New Day is going to win this match here, and I completely agree. I think that right now the New Day has a ton of momentum behind them. Whether Kofi Kingston ends up in the WrestleMania World Title match, which I do think he will end up in there, or not, I think you want to keep the New Day strong. I'm just hoping that at this point Rusev and Nakamura get some sort of match on WrestleMania that isn't the Andre, but unfortunately it looks like that's the way they're going. Next up, don't sleep on the kickoff show, guys, because next up is Andrade versus Rey Mysterio. That match is taking place on the kickoff show, which is crazy and really just a sign of the depth that WWE currently has right now. You consider the fact that, just off the top of my head, Elias not on the show. You've got Finn Balor not on the show. Braun Strowman not on the show. A whole bunch of talent that is not on this show. Hopefully it means that WWE is realizing that, I think maybe kind of a error of their own ways there, that Royal Rumble was a 5-hour show, bell to bell, after the kickoff show. So maybe they're starting to realize that, the optimal time for an actual pay-per-view is probably about 3 hours, 3.5 at most. I do expect Andrade to get the win here. I think I could see Andrade getting the win, or I could see a kind of a schmaz finish. I do think that they'll be leading towards Andrade and Rey Mysterio in a tag team of some sort down the road. I could really see a lot of folks that are kind of on that bubble of where they end up on the WrestleMania card kind of being thrown together and put in that tag match. I could see Andrade and Rey as a tag team. I could certainly see Shinsuke and Rusev continuing their tag team ways. The Hardys continuing their tag team ways. It seems like that's the way they're going to kind of go and get a lot of multiple man matches in order to get as many people on the card as possible. But for this particular match, I do think that it's going to be Andrade and to win the match and continue, that feud hopefully, and we'll kind of take it from there. But if I had to pick one, I'd go with Andrade. Moving right along to the main card proper. One of the things that I'm looking forward to on the show is the triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. It'll be the Revival defending the championship against Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, as well as Aleister Black and Ricochet, who have taken Raw and SmackDown by storm since their call-up recently onto, from NXT. I'm excited about this match. I think this match could steal the show. Hopefully they get a little bit of time here. I think that I had heard on Wrestling Observer Radio, they said that if these guys are given the first, or if they're the first match, then they should get a lot of time. But it's the type of match that if it's put on like in between Becky and Charlotte and Danny Bryan and Kevin Owens, it could kind of get lost in the shuffle, and I definitely don't want that to happen. I think these guys are all really talented. They've had great matches in NXT and now are going to have great matches on the main roster. So what I'm hoping for is I'm hoping the Revival keeps the belts here. I feel like it's not the time to take the belts off the Revival. The Revival's won the belts and then lost match after match after match. It's not the right time, in my opinion, to see the Revival lose the belts. I hope that the Revival retains them, the Raw Tag Team Championships. Sticking with the Tag Team Championship scene, it is going to be The Miz and Shane McMahon getting their rematch against the Usos in The Miz's hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. Miz's dad will also be in attendance, so all signs point to maybe The Miz and Shane recapturing these belts, right? No, I think that absolutely, I agree with you guys in the live chat there. I agree that the Usos will keep these belts, and my thought process here is that Shane McMahon, every match here, it's been Shane doing everything he can to get the win for the team. I expect that Shane will again do everything he can to get the win for the team and come up short. And when he does get pinned, I expect that The Miz will turn on Shane either that night or on SmackDown, that, Shane cost him the match in front of his hometown, cost him the match in front of his father, and at the end of the day, embarrassed him. And that will lead to the breakup of Shane and Miz and those guys at WrestleMania, which I think has been the plan all along. Again, keep an eye on what's going to go on with the Usos, though, come WrestleMania. A lot of teams are in the mix there. A lot of guys who might not have anything that I feel like can also be in the mix there. Moving right along over to the the women's division there, and the women's title matches, starting with the Raw Tag Team, the Women's Tag Team Championship. I don't think they're necessarily on Raw. It's going to be Sasha Banks and Bayley, the Boston Hug Connection, taking on the team of Nia Jax and Tamina. This is a match that I think is fine. I would be very surprised, though, if Sasha and Bayley lost the belts here. I think Sasha and Bayley, for sure, keep the Raw Tag Team Championships, or the Women's Tag titles, and will continue to move with those titles into WrestleMania. Like I said, these are the types of tag titles that I feel like, with the tag championships being established, they're going to be on every show, and you need strong champions to hold those belts. And I expect that will happen and continue to happen with Sasha and Bayley, at least right now. Definitely going into WrestleMania. Moving along, SmackDown Women's Champion Asuka will be defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against Mandy Rose. This is one where, you would think that Asuka's going to keep the belt here. You'd think Asuka would get the win. But I think, I agree with you guys in the chat. I think there's a chance that Mandy Rose takes this. I honestly would hate to see it just because I'm a big fan of Asuka and I feel like she's kind of been lost in the shuffle. But you could tell that WWE is getting behind Mandy Rose. She had a decisive victory over Naomi recently. And so I expect that, moving forward, I expect that she's going to be a star for WWE. And it just might take place over at Fastlane. So I'm cautiously going to say Asuka, but all of these matches are becoming a little too clear as to who's going to win, almost too predictable. So they can definitely throw a swerve in there. I wouldn't be stunned to see Mandy Rose come away as your new SmackDown Women's Champion. All right, and up next is going to be sticking with the women's division, I guess. It's going to be Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. I expect this will close the show. I think that it's got the most kind of on the line in terms of WrestleMania type stuff. It definitely can close the show. I think this match or the Shield match is going to close the show, which is unfortunate for Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens. But for those who don't know, you've been living under a bit of a rock. If Charlotte Flair wins this match, it's going to be Charlotte Flair one-on-one with Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. If Becky Lynch wins this match, she'll be added to the match. It'll be a three-way dance, a triple threat, if you will, at WrestleMania. And yeah, so that, I think this is for sure Becky's way to get into the WrestleMania main event. It would be my lock of the entire event. I'd be very surprised if Becky doesn't win this. When I first saw Ronda turn on Monday, I thought maybe they were kind of taking that rebellious deal that they had with Becky and kind of shifting that over to maybe give Ronda that kind of rebellious, badass babyface. But that's clearly not where they're going with this. Definitely the video with Ronda coming out yesterday on her YouTube saying wrestling's fake, so, you know, F the WWE Universe and all that. It's clear to me that Ronda is definitely a heel now, and I think Charlotte is as well. I think WWE would love for Charlotte to be the babyface, but I think that they're going to go with Becky Lynch here. That being said, wouldn't shock me if Charlotte comes out of WrestleMania as the champ. If you watch that press conference yesterday for WrestleMania 36, which I have full coverage on, by the way, on the Watchalong Wrestling archives, take a peek there. Charlotte was the one that was out there representing the women's division and talking on behalf of WWE. She's one of the few superstars, along with Roman Reigns and Titus O'Neil. So WWE definitely sees Charlotte as a star, but I think we're getting our triple threat match here, and I expect Becky to win on Sunday. Next up is the six-man tag team match. It's going to be the team of Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, and Drew McIntyre against the Shield. One more time, they're building this up as the final chance for the Shield to be all together. So here's the thing, okay? Now, this can go one of two ways. Number one, Shield win, right? And this is Roman's match back. The Shield should win. It's crazy to think that in Roman's match back, his first match back, that he wouldn't get the dub here. That being said, there was a small chance, I think, that, if they get the win, I think Dean Ambrose can turn on the Shield, certainly on Roman, because Roman doesn't have a match for WrestleMania. He's made it clear that he's steering clear of Rollins, and Lesnar wants Rollins to go slay the beast, do his thing. So with that being said, Roman needs a match for WrestleMania, and it makes sense for that match to be Dean Ambrose. I've heard some rumors about Baron Corbin. I think a match between Ambrose and Roman certainly, is a little bit bigger of an attraction for WrestleMania than Corbin and Reigns. So I think that's the way they're going to go, and I think you go one of two ways. One, Shield wins, Ambrose lays out Reigns and Rollins afterwards. Or, and this is another way that it can go, Ambrose actually takes the loss. Maybe McIntyre picks up the win, because, boy, I feel like he really doesn't belong in this match. He seems like he should be doing something, a little more than this six-man here. So maybe McIntyre picks up the win for his team by pinning Ambrose, and when that happens, Ambrose loses it and goes after Roman, and you get that match for WrestleMania. Hopefully without any stuff about the leukemia stuff, because that's really lowbrow, and hopefully they steer clear of that. But more than likely, I think the Shield gets the win here. It's Roman's first match back, and should be victorious, and should be a little fanfare there. That is, obviously the main event. The world title match, Daniel Bryan defending the title against Kevin Owens. I think that at this point it is going to, I'd be very surprised if Daniel Bryan loses that title. What I really think happened here, and I'll be completely honest with you guys, I think Kevin Owens was being groomed to be in the, Dylan thinks that Kevin Owens is going to get the win. Well, I think if Kevin gets the win, then you're getting yourself another triple threat at WrestleMania, because I think the way they're going to go at Mania is Kofi's going to be inserted there. What I think happened with this, though, was I think it was supposed to be Kofi versus Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. I think then Kevin Owens was going to return and face Daniel Bryan for the title at the at WrestleMania. But I think they just realized they struck gold with this Kofi thing. People are so into Kofi. Right now, I'd say on the men's side of things, other than Roman, who just returned, I'd say Kofi's probably the hottest guy on the entire either roster. I mean, people are just really into this story. They're really behind him. And so I think Kofi's going to get his match at WrestleMania now. And I think that's why they flipped this and kind of threw Kevin Owens into this world title match at Fastlane here, which is kind of a little bit of a throwaway show. So, I mean, I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan to keep the belt. Would I be stunned if Kevin Owens wins the title? I wouldn't. If he does, though, then I think you're getting another three-way at WrestleMania, which I feel like is probably too many three-ways or multi-man matches, but that seems to be the way they go with Mania these days in order to kind of get everyone on the card. So to recap my predictions for the show, I'm going with the New Day. I'm going with Andrade, those matches on the Kickoff show. As far as the main card proper, I'm going for the Revival to retain. I'm cautiously going for Asuka to retain, Boston Hug Connection to retain, Usos to retain. I'm telling you, this stuff's coming a little too cookie cutter. Something won't go according to plan. You can bank on that. I'm going for Daniel Bryan also to retain, the Shield to get a win in Roman Reigns' first match back, and of course, Becky Lynch defeating Charlotte Flair. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Big shout out to Dylan for joining me in the live chat, and for everyone else who's watched along live. This will be up on YouTube. If you liked the way this video looked as opposed to my other streams, let me know. I don't know if it's a little clearer. I don't know if it's not as good. I could always go back. We're working some things out here, working some kinks out as we continue to grow this channel. But one thing is for sure, we'll continue to provide you with great content here. If you like what you see, leave a big thumbs up and subscribe. And that is going to do it for me for the day here, guys. Tomorrow, probably over the weekend, I'll have a couple other little videos here and there. I'll be back on Monday night with the my live stream commentary on the final hour of Raw. Hopefully, I'll give you guys something on Fastlane. If it's not a live stream, maybe a post show, something like that. Some thoughts about the show, as I'll be returning back here to New York as Fastlane goes on. But hopefully we'll be able to go do that. And then a lot of fun stuff here, a lot of fun stuff in the works for WrestleMania season. So make sure you subscribe to Watchalong Wrestling. I am Tommy on the Spot. You can also chat with me over on Twitter at WatchWrestlePod. It's been a lot of fun talking with you guys there. And until next time, everybody,